Welcome to Beers on the Lot, episode 16. Real quick reminder to subscribe, rate, and review on your podcatcher, and tell your friends about us. Tonight, we're going to talk gear with Mark Breiter, the equipment manager for the Minnesota State University Mavericks women's ice hockey team. He's got some really interesting behind-the-scenes insights, and we're going to hear about him after some beers. Let's go. Well, how about we drink some beers? Everybody ready?
Hit it.
Let's do
All
it.
right. Open them up. Mine is not a twist off. Where's my opening?
Oh, Aaron.
There we go. Here we go. There we go.
Since there was so much pageantry, Aaron, what's going on? What are you drinking over there?
I've got another one of my Baltimore Blondes from Guinness.
Okay.
Done by Open Gate Brewery. I've already had one of these before, so it's nothing new. Just getting back into that 6-pack, you know. Trying to rotate. What are you drinking, John?
I am drinking, because it's Christmas season, Troegs Mad Elf Ale. It's a Christmas-only beer, which kind of makes sense, because you have too much fun when you drink these. So, what about you, Danny? What are you drinking?
I got Captain Lawrence Brewing Company, Tears of Green from Elmsford, New York.
Elmford, all right.
Yeah, pretty tasty. What do you got, Rego?
So just like John, it's the Christmas season. So I picked up some Troegs Mad Elf out of Hershey, Pennsylvania. It's brewed with cherries and honey, and it's got all kinds of like Christmas flavor in it. It's awesome. So best time of year.
And this is the first year it's been cans, too.
It is in
So
cans.
it's even more special.
You could finally get it in 12 packs. It's great.
Yeah. That's a dangerous thing, but it's a good thing.
Perfect.
So
how about our guest, Mark Breiter? What are you drinking tonight?
It's called Christmas Ale. It's from Breckenridge Brewery in Colorado.
Oh yeah,
Right on.
stellar.
Excellent.
Something different, yeah.
Breck Brew.
I've had a couple of their beers.
Good stuff. So, yeah, thanks for coming on tonight, Mark. We really appreciate you taking some time to talk to us. We got Mark Breiter from Minnesota State University, the equipment manager. We're happy to have you on.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
Well, Mark, so tell us kind of a little bit, how you got into it and your youth hockey growing up.
Yeah, so I guess we'll start with youth hockey growing up. I'm from Mankato, so parents live about 10 minutes away from where I'm at. Yeah, I just started playing when I was 5. Played all the way till the end of my junior year of high school. Wasn't any good. Played 2 years of JV in high school. Got a lot of penalties, not many points. But yeah, I got this job just kind of by chance, actually. I was just walking around campus right before classes started my freshman year, and I knew the assistant athletic director. I played high school with his son, and he saw me in the hallway and just stopped me, asked if I'd be interested in applying for the women's equipment job. I applied that day. 2 days later, had an interview with the coaching staff. And so my freshman year, me and another guy just kind of tag teamed it. We'd both travel with the women, and he was a senior. And so the year after that and last year, he kind of took over the women, and I just helped the men and the women at home. And then this year, I'm the women's head guy, so I've been going on the road and stuff like that too, and just kind of working with them full time now.
Nice. That's awesome. So tell us a little bit what the NCAA hockey equipment manager entails. I know we kind of get these, visions of the NHL guys, but tell us about kind of NCAA ice hockey, what that entails.
It's not quite as much of a grind as NHL equipment guys have. Like on a road trip, we just got back from St. Cloud this past weekend. We left Friday morning, and they're only 2.5 hours away from where we're at. So left around 7 a.m. Friday morning, skated there, and then played there Friday night, played there Saturday afternoon, and we were home Saturday night by, I I think 9 o'clock. So not too bad. Usually just pack up the day before, wherever we're going, just pack all my stuff up and just load the bus and go.
The girls got their first W this weekend too.
Yep,
So
we
that
sure
was probably
did.
nice. I bet that
That was
felt good going home.
Made the bus ride a little enjoyable on the way home. Yep.
So what are the typical what's like the typical practice day, during the week? Because, college hockey's weekly, weekend league,
Yeah.
right? So
Yep.
and then what's like the typical game day like at home or even on the road? Like what time are you starting in the morning? What are you getting started with as far as getting stuff ready and all that kind of thing?
Yeah, sure. So typical practice day, we skate every day at 10:30 in the morning. So I'll get to the rink around 8:15. The first thing I always do is sharpen
Right.
skates. Players write their numbers on the board. I just sharpen them every morning. Every player's got 2 sets of steel, so I just swap out steel. They've always got a sharp pair and just swap them out and then sharpen the other pair. And then practice. Just sitting there watching for broken sticks. Anyone wants their blades switched, stuff like that. Switching jerseys, like if coach wants different colors out there.
Right.
We skate usually till noon, and start getting the washers going around 12:30 usually. Usually done with laundry around 3 probably with everything put away. So that's pretty much a typical practice day. Usually out of the rink by 5 every
Not
day on
bad.
a practice day. Not bad. So pretty much 8 to 5, yeah.
Yeah.
Typical home game day, those are a little different. Usually end up being like 14, 15-hour days.
Wow.
But usually get to the rink same time. We always skate Friday morning on the day of a game. The visiting team usually skates too. So we spin our laundry, obviously, and then we spin the visiting laundry for them too,
Right.
being the home team. So do that. And then usually I just stay at the rink all day. Don't really leave. Usually there's too much to do, but just usually we play at 7 at night. So players start showing up around 3:30 or 4 probably, and usually I've got everything set up by then except the bench. I usually do that around 4:30 or 5. Set the bench up, backup sticks, my bench bag, extra steel, game pucks, or warm-up pucks, sorry. And then after the game, usually get the washers going again. You're ready for the next day. Usually that's a quick turnaround because most of the time we'll play in the afternoon on Saturday, so it's a quicker turnaround.
Oh wow. Yeah.
But down the road it's a lot nicer because the home team does your laundry, so you don't have as much responsibility. You just set up the locker room and sharpen, and that's it.
Nice.
Take a nap on the training table.
Beauty.
Mhm.
So I know unfortunately this upcoming weekend you guys are postponing games due to COVID. Have you noticed anything since you've done it in a few years leading up to, the COVID world? Have you had to take extra precautions, or have you noticed any issues because of COVID protocols now that, locker room maintenance and cleaning and all that?
I mean, in the past years, so we've got a Sanisport machine that you throw the gear in there and it sanitizes it. So in past years, we've done that, just kind of keep on top of it and keep the smell out of there as much as possible.
Yeah.
And this year, though, we got like an electrostatic gun we spray the gear with, and it's supposed to kill bacteria. So we do that quite a bit. I think I've tweeted some pics out of that, but now we've been doing a lot more of that, a lot more sanitizing gear and stuff like that. So I know for the first part of the year, we had to, like, before we started games, for practicing, we had to have half of our team on the visitor side locker room. So we'd have half of our team in our home locker room, and then the other half on the visitor side. And then every 2 weeks they would switch. So it was a lot more work, and trying to put laundry in 2 different spots and remembering who's on what side, and
Right.
made it a lot harder, but we got through it, and everyone's in the same locker room now, so it's a lot better situation.
Before we started up here, you mentioned Dana Heinze. Like we've seen a couple of your Twitter posts too, where you got the fans up and all that. Very Dana Heinze-esque. You it seems like you're really enjoying some of the social aspects of this.
Yeah, I love tweeting stuff out. I don't know, it's just kind of become part of my job. Like, I just started tweeting stuff out. I followed Dana Heinze, and then another guy that kind of I started following is Rich Matthews. He used to work for the New Jersey Devils. He's now with the St. Louis Blues, and he started tweeting stuff out, just behind the scenes stuff, and I thought it looked super cool. And I just thought, yeah, I'll give it a shot, and kind of blew up. So
That's good stuff. We got 3 Pens fans here, and then just a very well-versed Capitals fan who knows all about Dana Heinze too. So yeah, we're big fans of Dana Heinze.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we were talking before we started recording. Like, I think people are really into that behind the scenes look into what goes on to get the teams ready, right? Like, if they don't have their gear squared away, like they're not going to play well. I mean,
Right.
we all know that, right? Like, so
yeah.
Look good, feel good, play good, right?
I think it's a huge deal to recognize, that team that's sort of behind the team, and behind the coaches and is supporting all that. And I think people are, again, like super interested in that stuff.
Yeah, actually, 3 of us on this podcast, me, Daniel, and John, we've all worked at the rink that we play at, actually. And in some capacity, we've all sharpened skates, driven the ZAM, like all this that you do every day. But it's definitely cool to get a look in at a higher level than just, the local rink.
Than the local dump.
The local dump. Yeah.
So, like, we always hear about, like players go off the ice during games and they need like equipment repair or something. And we always assume like, oh, it's, something's wrong with the steel. Like, they need new steel. And now, like, with the new Bauer holders, right, you just pop the steel out. Even CCM, I guess, has it now too, right? So, so it's not just that stuff anymore. Like, what is breaking, and like, what is the craziest in-game thing you've had to do to get somebody back out on the ice?
It's a good question. I guess, honestly, knock on wood, I haven't had anything too crazy. I mean, I guess this weekend, it was in between periods, I popped a new bubble on one of our helmets because she took a high stick to the face and had a nice scratch right across the front of her bubble. But other than that, stuff like that's pretty easy to do.
You're not having to do like rivets in the middle of a game or something like that, right?
Nothing like that yet. No.
I'll
knock on wood for you.
Whoops.
Yeah, thanks for jinxing me.
Sorry.
Yeah. Aaron and I used to sharpen skates and do rivets, and I can honestly say I hate doing rivets.
Yeah,
I would rather sharpen 100 pairs of skates before I do 2 rivets, especially the copper ones. You can't deal with those things. Those things are such pains.
Yeah, those are definitely challenging. Rivets are. Yeah, I guess, I don't know. I think I've probably had to sew some stuff in between periods. Like, I remember one time we were on a road trip and one of our players forgot her skates at home, so that was interesting.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was
Please tell me she didn't reference.
No.
She's rental skates.
No, she didn't have to.
Oh man.
Now a lot of Now you were saying like sewing and skate sharpening, and Aaron and I were kind of busting you a little bit about doing rivets. Did you have any experience doing that before you were an equipment manager? No, so you learned a lot of that on the fly.
I barely knew how to fold towels when I walked in. No, the men's equipment manager at MSU is Scott Rideout. He's taught me everything I know about equipment or gear sewing. He taught me how to sew, taught me how to sharpen, stuff like that. So just everything. So I owe a lot of credit to him. He's a great guy and he's definitely taken me under his wing. So
It's great.
yeah.
Do you have any crazy gear customizations? Like anybody have any like weird requests?
Not really. I mean, a big thing this year is that I've had to do, I think 4 pairs of skates is trim the tongues on them because they all ordered the fluffy stick your tongue out of your shin guard tongues by Bauer because we're a Bauer school, and then they tuck their shin guard over their tongue and it's too bulky. They don't like it. So rather than put a whole new tongue in, I just grab the scissors and start cutting, and it works. They don't come back. So
now I'm kind of curious.
So that's why you see all the pro stocks available on Sideline Swap. All the tongues are cut up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious. You mentioned like skates and stuff. So now I know you guys are a Bauer school. Does the school provide, X amount of sticks a week? I know at one point I heard years ago from a TPS rep, the NCAA kids got like 4 sticks a week or something like that, depending on where you played. If you were a TPS school, I don't know how it
He's
is.
laughing.
Yeah, we're not
TPS. Yeah. So
not
what's that
handing out
like?
4 sticks a week.
Yeah,
we're definitely not doing that. We try and have, now that we're playing games, I make sure everyone's got 3 sticks in the locker room, like in their spot in the locker room at all times. And then we've just got whatever on the rack in the equipment room. We either order 6 or 12 sticks per player, just depending on how likely they are to break them. Like, I think D-men, we order probably 12 just because they break a little more. Goalies get 12. So it's stuff like that. We've had some players not like the sticks that they have, so we order different ones for them. Usually we just order 6 just to make sure they like them. Because I think that's the minimum we can order is 6 from Bauer.
And then skates, I assume they probably all have 2 pairs at any given time, maybe.
Yeah. So
Something like
everyone's got 2 pairs. One they keep under their seat in their stall, and then one that they obviously wear. Bauer does a good job of coming down with like the foot scanner. They didn't this year because of COVID, but they scan every player's feet, and then make a custom pair for them. So they fit like a glove after we bake them a couple times, and don't really have any issues that way. Sometimes we got to punch them out a little bit. They have an extra bone in their foot or just don't fit quite right. We just punch it out in a certain spot.
The Bauer bumps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, because you're around hockey so much, just helping out with the teams and all, and you're obviously on the road to some extent. Has it made you appreciate the game a little more, or have you gotten back into it in some level because you're around it so much, you're like, I got to stay away from this?
No, it's actually drawn me closer because, like, this is gonna sound weird, but I'll sit there on, like, especially like during the NHL bubble in Edmonton and Toronto, when they'd have games at like 11:30 in the morning. I sit there and I watch NHL games, and call me a nerd, but I look for like broken sticks and guys falling weird. And I mean, I'm definitely watching like goals and stuff, but I'll definitely pay a little more attention to that. Or like they pan to the bench, I'll try and take a peek at their equipment setup and stuff like
that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a nerd for that. I like seeing different sticks and glove modifications and all that stuff. I'm such a dweeb. I can't even get it.
They show a close up of a player. You pause the TV and go back and look at it and zoom in.
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
Yeah, well, especially now too, like with the way they're releasing like certain sticks and then glove modifications,
Mhm.
and it's interesting. You could see a lot more, and because you get more behind the scenes stuff, kind of what you do on Twitter. Like some of the equipment managers will put certain things up on Instagram and Facebook or Twitter. You can kind of see like, oh, this guy has his shoulder pads, like he has like a weird set here, it's offset, or
Yep.
extra padding. I always think that's so interesting.
Yeah,
I,
like
I think that's the coolest thing.
I can't remember where I saw it. Probably some video, but there's guys in the NHL who have pieces of like football shoulder pads on their shoulder pads, like Riddell,
Yeah.
like rib guards and stuff like that. And it's just crazy some of the modifications those guys can do.
Yeah, and they have a little more time, I guess, to fiddle with that stuff because those guys are so finicky. I think
Yeah,
they're
definitely mental. Yeah, for sure.
Think about like Patrick Marlowe, who said he was going to retire when he ran out of whatever the skates were that he had. He had something like 15 pairs of, I don't remember what they were, RBK 9.
I can't remember what he wears,
but he said that when he ran out of the skates that he had, he's going to retire. That's crazy.
Do you still skate?
Yeah, I do a little bit. I mean, not much. I try and get outside. I mean, usually skate outside with a couple buddies in, like, usually over winter break, where our team's not
Right,
doing as
right.
much and there's no class. So, and I ref too. So, like, I ref youth
Oh, nice.
and high school here in Minnesota. So,
Nice.
just a little side job, make some extra money, and
Yeah.
get a good workout in too. It's down the ice,
right. Yeah. But no men's league, no beer
No.
league.
I don't do any of that. Just I don't really have time for that. I mean, I'm at the rink a lot, and
Yeah.
Now, do they have intramural on the ice too?
we've got like a club team here on campus, but that's about it. We don't really have any like intramural or anything like that for hockey. Just the club team, which is they like travel and they wear our old gear and stuff like that. So they're pretty fancy that way, I guess. You gotta pay like
That's cool.
a couple grand to play or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I did.
Yeah.
Years ago. Yeah. Yeah. Years ago. And it was still a couple grand. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a question that we'd come up with beforehand. Are you a Blade Master, a Wasoda, or a Sparks guy?
Yeah.
We've got the Blade Master,
Everybody's got
the two head with the cross grinder in the middle, and then we've got the Keg One profiler machine too. We don't use that for sharpening. It can sharpen. We don't use it for that, but that thing works pretty slick. You just pop the blade on, punch in the profile, and let her rip.
There it goes.
That's awesome. Yeah.
That's great.
Sure beats profiling by hand. I remember profiling by hand. It's a pain in the ass. Especially if somebody really knows what they're asking for and they know you screwed up.
Yep.
Well, a lot of the people that ask for it, they don't know the difference.
Most
They don't
just
know what
don't
they're
know.
asking for
You just
anyway.
put some Sharpie
Yeah.
marks on it,
Yeah.
and they don't know.
Somebody
Totally
told me I
fool.
need pro something.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do it.
A long time ago, Aaron was the one that taught me how to sharpen.
Way back in the day, huh?
Many moons
Back in the
ago.
day, Many moons ago.
What was that? Was that like 2003?
Oh my gosh, yeah,
2004?
that was a long time ago.
Many moons.
Ages ago.
So, Mark, do you have any aspirations, like possibly, staying NCAA and being an equipment manager, or progressing your career with that?
So this is gonna sound kind of bad, but I'm kind of, I guess you could say, putting my degree on the back burner. I'm going to school. I'm a full-time student, but this is something I want to do full-time and make a career out of, being an equipment guy. So I'm always looking to learn more and make new connections with people and just try and get my foot in the door just any way I can and learn by doing and I love sewing. Scott taught me that this year, so that's probably honestly probably my favorite part of the job right now is just jumping on the sewing machine and learning how to do that. I remember last year we've got 2 sewing machines, like one industrial, one for like gear, and then one for like jersey repair and socks and stuff like that. And last year I was spinning the men's laundry after practice one night, just at the rink by myself, and was gonna patch some practice socks, but I'd never been on the machine anymore, or I'd never been on the machine before, and hop on there, look up a YouTube video, end up breaking the needle on there. Text my boss Scott, I'm like,
Oh,
just broke the machine. He's like, you're fired. So I finally figured out that one, but
Like you said, learn by doing.
yeah, right, exactly.
well, and I guess that's kind of the interesting part. Like, I mean, I think we all know it because we see so much behind the scenes stuff. But you're a casual hockey fan, they're probably like, oh, they just move the sticks to the bench and then they sharpen skates. But you guys do
So
everything.
yeah,
I mean, laundry is the
literally
big thing,
everything.
obviously. Sewing and basic equipment repair.
Yeah.
And you guys haul all the gear.
Yep.
Not just the player gear, but there's the practice jerseys, the extra backup equipment, the backup jerseys, the practice jerseys, the towels, toiletry. It's so much. I mean,
It's crazy.
I can go through Santa's list essentially. Yeah,
That is
exactly.
dumb. Yeah.
I mean, and then your tape and
Yep.
equipment. Just everything you need to be functional on the road. I mean, it was interesting seeing some of those scenes in Edmonton through the bubble in Toronto early on, where the teams were kind of leaving some of their necessities behind, and they were just sharing gear because it was just too much of a hassle to move in and out. Teams were kind of joking. I saw something on Twitter. I don't remember what teams. It was something like, well, they used all our white tape, so we got to steal theirs next time. Something like that.
Yep.
Just because it was just making everything more smooth. And I guess too at the NCAA, and from what I know at the pro level from seeing it, there's a good camaraderie, even though it's a rivalry on the ice with the teams. You guys are pretty friendly most times, I would
Oh,
hope.
for sure. Yeah, it's a brotherhood. It's pretty much like a fraternity, honestly, with equipment guys. Like everybody helps everyone out, and I'm good buddies with Travis Ward. He's the equipment guy for Alaska Anchorage, so he's halfway across the world or across the country, sorry. And I talk to him almost every day now, and
Wow.
either FaceTime or just text him or just shoot ideas off him. Like what was I working on? Can't remember what I was working on, but I texted him a picture of it and just to pick his brain and see how he would do it, and he shot right back, and I tried it and it worked. So just stuff like that, like everyone's there for each other and just help each other out, especially on the road. Like say I need to jump on the home team sewing machine and sew a jersey or a piece of gear or something, that's no problem. They'll let me do that, no problem. So that's pretty much anywhere you go.
That's awesome.
All right. What's the story?
Yeah, we need the story.
I was waiting for it. I knew it was coming.
Spill the beans.
I'm sitting here like, I want to hear the
We
story.
just had the 3-year anniversary this past week. So Thanksgiving Day.
Anything that has an anniversary is important.
Yeah, right? It's a bad one too. So we are me and this other guy are co-equipment managers of the women's team my freshman year, right? We we have a tournament we're going to, a Thanksgiving tournament we're going to play at the Washington Capitals practice facility, the Kettler Iceplex in DC.
Oh, right down the road.
Yeah.
Right down the street.
Yeah.
And our bus is supposed to pull out of the rink at, I think, 3:45 in the morning. Really early. And
bussing it. Okay.
no,
Yeah.
bus to the airport.
Wow.
Sorry.
Oh, all right. All
Bus
right.
to
I
the
was,
airport to
I was
fly
gonna
out
say,
there.
holy.
That's a 16-hour drive.
Hold up. So I wake up in time. I'm like, all right, I can sleep for 5 more minutes. Not a chance. I wake up 2 hours later. It's like 6 o'clock.
Oh,
Oh,
I've
Oh,
got
no.
like 10 missed phone calls, 5 alarms going off. I thought I was for
Oh.
sure canned. So I
Oh.
drive all the way up to the Minneapolis airport. It's about an hour and a half from where I'm at in Mankato, and missed the plane by I think 5 or 10 minutes because I couldn't find a parking spot at the airport.
Oh.
So I
Oh,
finally
Kevin McAllister. He missed the plane.
Yep, so
Oh no.
it's Thanksgiving Day, right? So I finally find a parking spot, and by this time the plane's gone. So I call our assistant coach. I'm in such a hurry. I get through security the first time, find out the plane has already taken off once I get to the gate. And I'm like, well, crap, what do I do now? So I luckily they were nice enough to have me on standby on the next flight out. Like, so we were supposed to fly out at like 6 a.m. I think. So the next flight out was like 10 a.m. or something like that. So in going through security the first time, I'm in such a hurry to get out of there. I forget my belt there. So I have to go back through and get my boarding pass for my 10 a.m. flight anyway. So I just go through security again, just pick up my belt on the way through. So I made it out there and still have my job. So they just laughed about it once I got out there. Some 18-year-old bum just overslept.
Oh.
Oh man.
Well, at
I
least you
love
have an
it.
eventful kind of story to tell. So now, when
Yeah,
you guys
right?
have early road trips, do you even sleep, or you're just like
So-
constantly up?
We we haven't had an early road trip like yet this year, but if we ever leave before probably 6 a.m., I'm sleeping at the rink. Like, no joke, I'll do it.
Yeah, right.
Can't risk it again.
And I followed you for a while on Twitter because of the gear stuff, and you're pretty fortunate. A lot of your travel's somewhat regional from
Yeah,
Minnesota State.
especially right now. Like, the only schools we're playing, we're not playing the Big Ten schools in the first half. We don't have them on our schedule. After break, I think we will. But yeah, our longest trip is Bemidji. That's 5.5 hours. We're all in state right now, so we got Bemidji is 5.5 hours. St. Cloud, where we just went to, is 2.5, I think, and Duluth is 4. So really not that bad, honestly.
Not bad at all. Yeah.
Probably one of the easiest travel schedules right now, aside from obviously guys like in the NCHC are in the bubble right now. They're not traveling, but
Yeah.
yeah, like our men's team, the men's side of the WCHA is crazy. You got Anchorage and Fairbanks in Alaska, Bowling Green in
Ugh.
Ohio, Alabama, Huntsville.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say they have games against Alabama,
Yeah,
Huntsville.
way down there.
Like,
Yeah.
they're really
Oh,
They
traveling.
fly into for that trip. They fly into Nashville, and then it's like I can't remember how long the bus ride is, but it's I think a pretty hefty bus ride from Nashville down to Huntsville too. We're
Ugh.
sitting on the.
They don't have airports.
I guess not
They don't
there.
have airports down there. Yeah.
Man, they just play hockey. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. Sheesh. Man, it's rough.
Yeah, right.
So have there been any moments during your equipment manager career that you've been really privileged to be a part of, or anything that's really left you in awe, whether it's been on the men's or women's side? You know, big game or something really cool happen, or
Yeah, I guess the men's. When I was working with the men 2 years ago, I think it would have been. We had the WCHA championship at our home rink against Bowling Green, and we won the championship in OT to seal it, and that was pretty sweet. I think that's probably tops on my list, at least right now, for best memories to be a part of. It was a
Yeah.
pretty fun experience. Other than that, I mean, honestly, every game feels like a privilege to me just to be. I know there's a ton of people who'd love to have my job and be in my shoes every day. And I feel very blessed to be able to have this job. I just try and soak it all up every day and make the most of it.
It's
Yeah.
great.
For some reason, it just reminded me, the rink that me and Daniel and John used to work at, there was one guy who was always pretty good, and he was like close to our age or whatever, and we always joked that if he ever made it to the NHL, he was going to bring me along as his personal equipment manager. So yeah, it absolutely was a thought of mine. Like, yeah, no, I could do this. I could manage equipment. See, you're living my dream.
Yeah, but you were talking about one person.
I was talking about one dude.
He's working
Yeah.
with a whole team. Plus, he has to support road team.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
probably
Oh,
has
my,
to help out on the men's side too sometimes. So like it's a little bit different than just
And
doing
Aaron-
one guy's
Little
skates
different.
every day.
And you're not going to learn how to sew. You're not
It's
stitching.
yeah,
true.
yeah.
I don't have.
Oh, you
I don't have patience for that.
They're not going to learn.
come on, man.
And too, Mark, I mean, we joke about the sewing, but a few other things I want to mention that I've seen you do: heat pressing numbers and on practice apparel and all the other
Oh.
stuff. I know you do that.
That is, we just got that heat press this year.
Oh, really?
And
Nice.
that thing's unreal, but that is a tedious job. I sat there. You probably saw my tweet today for putting
Yeah.
bullheads and numbers on practice sweats. I sat there for probably 2 hours and did 24 pairs of sweats. So it's a little bit tedious. But every week, usually on Monday mornings after I'm done sharpening, if I have time before practice starts, I'll go through and start heat pressing our game socks that had holes in them from the weekend before. So that's usually use the heat press for that. Just any sort of stuff like that. That's makes it quicker than sewing, especially if we're on the road back-to-back weeks. You're not necessarily going to sit down at the sewing machine and sew every sock back together. You just heat press them quick for you do them. I think it's 10 seconds and they're done. So
Oh,
makes
quick.
it quicker, and it's pretty permanent too. Like that stuff's not coming off. So
Well, especially now the synthetic material
Yeah.
the socks are
Yep.
made out of. It's pretty simple.
yeah, they also cut easier too. So
Yeah,
A lot
it's
more
true.
holes.
Yeah, they do. Yeah,
my,
they do.
My other question, is there any player, and obviously you don't have to name names or anything, that they are superstitious about something, or they're so finicky that they drag you kind of in, just like you're guilty by association and doing a ritual, or you have to do something specific to their gear and their gear only, past, present, anything like that?
That's a tough one. Honestly, I don't think we have. I mean, there was a guy on the men's side last year who I wouldn't travel, so every home game I did it. I would have to hand him a piece of Big Red gum on the bench during warm-ups. I don't know why that was his thing, but
They only
Big Red
wanted you
gum.
to give them Big
I mean,
Red.
yeah, I guess no one else could. It's just me.
Hey, you did it one time, and he probably scored like 2 or 3. So you got to keep doing it.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
That was all year. And
Yeah.
honestly, on the women's side this year, there's not really none of our players are really that crazy superstitious. I mean, I guess honestly, thinking about myself, I've got a pair of MSU socks with the bullhead on them that I wear for every game, regardless if we win or lose. And I always
So you're the superstitious one.
Yeah. me. Other than our goalies, they probably got their own stuff they got going on, but goalies are weird.
Well,
anyway.
they don't count. Yeah, they don't count.
Other than that,
Don't count.
I always throw all the warm-up pucks onto the ice. We'll just try and like float them to the far dot or whatever from the bench and stuff like that. So usually just do that. And other than that, I just show up and hope we win. Just do my
Yeah.
job to the best of my ability, and that's all you can do.
What's the gum of choice on the bench?
A lot of them like double bubble for some reason. I don't know why.
Double
That stuff is
bubble.
gross. But
That only has flavor for like 10 seconds.
We were
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's
we've
like no
talked about
flavor,
that.
yeah.
You see it. There's some conspiracy theory because you see it throughout pro sports, and
Yeah.
it is the worst gum.
Yeah,
I
It is.
chew
Yeah.
it. You
Great.
chew it for two 2 seconds and it loses its flavor. It does have volume though, so maybe that's it. That's about it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
It sucks.
a big thing on our team is Jolly Ranchers. I don't know why that's so appealing to them, but leave your teeth
playing?
blue. But no, not
Yeah.
while they're playing before
Yeah.
the game.
Oh, okay.
I just stick them in the room. But we do have some players who chew gum while they play.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like anyone wears a mouth guard anymore. I don't know where that kind of fell off, but
That's spectacular.
like, I don't know if I can name one player that wears it. Like,
I guess if you got a
That's pretty
bubble or face
wild.
cage on, I mean,
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, but you can still get your teeth banged up.
Yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
Ah,
it's-
Ooh,
Yeah.
chomp
you
on your
wear one?
tongue.
Did I?
no,
I don't wear
one.
I haven't worn one since club college days, and when we were wearing them, we would cut them so they only covered the first 4 teeth. So if the ref saw it, because it was USA Hockey or whatever, because it's club college, so you had to wear one. So we would cut them so they only covered the first 4 teeth in the front. So if the ref checked, they could see you had a mouth guard, but they couldn't like tell you anything else. So.
That's
mine was a
unreal.
piece of double bubble. It had no flavor. It was just constantly mangled.
And it was the same one for 7
Oh.
years.
Yeah, I stuck it in the cuff of my glove for practice, and then for games I would hold it out of the one side of my mouth constantly. And actually I remember when I started playing men's league with him, he saw it in my glove and said something like, "This isn't like Pop Warner. You can ditch the mouth guard."
I
And
did
I
say
haven't
that. And now I have to yell at my own son, like, put your mouth guard in when I'm coaching, like,
Yeah,
because he skates around like the friggin' NHLers do
Patrick
with it
Kane.
hanging out of his
Yeah.
mouth and he's chewing on it the whole time.
Yeah.
There's nothing left of it. It's just,
Yeah.
I remember that's how my mouth guards used to get when I played youth. Is it just gets so chewed up, and
Oh yeah.
a new mouth guard would feel so weird because it's actually supposed to feel like this. Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like he had like braces or whatever, so we had to get like a special one, and he chewed it up. And like normally, like you go to Walmart or something and get a mouth guard, it's like 95 cents or something. These things are like $12, $15, $20 for the stupid orthodontic ones, right? So he's chewing it up and tearing them up. So now we have to buy a new one like every month because he's chewing them up. They takes it out of his mouth. It's like as flat as like a coaster, like it's not doing anything other than serving as something for him to chew on like a dog. Like it's crazy. Kids, man.
Kids, man.
Kids, man. I mean, might as well just not wear one. Like,
So here's one for you. Have you ever had to do something like for a player, like in the middle of a game or something like that? Like, hey, I need a new stick or something like that, or anything like that. And then it turned into something on the ice, like immediately, like he's like, I helped them do that sort of thing, or something like that. Did that ever happen at all?
I don't think so. Like usually like steel, I just swap it out and then they just go back out there and have another shift. But no, I haven't had any like heroic moments like you see sometimes pictures of equipment guys like almost completely on the ice leaning a stick over the wall or something like that. I haven't had to do that, but we did have. Yeah, I guess I try not to like lean that far over. Like typically, like when someone breaks their stick or something, you've got pretty much everyone on the team is like throwing their stick at this player who doesn't have one. And like half of them aren't even the right, like the correct hand. They're just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of funny that way, but like, no, I don't think I've had anything like that. But
no Mitch Marner moments like
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's a big
Toronto
one.
where he like breaks the stick and he wheels by the bench and picks it up and then goes in on the breakaway and scores.
no,
Like,
nothing like that. Usually I'm
no.
trying to figure out first off, whose stick it is, and then find it in my
Yeah.
stick. And that's fumbling around. I've got two different sticks, and both of them are wrong. I'm like, well, crap. Got to figure this one out.
And they probably changed tape jobs that day or something, so it's totally different. Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing I kind of like. I'm very fortunate for when I look for my stick. It usually has the longest handle, and it's the shortest one. So
Longest
Yeah,
handle.
I tape it. I tape. Not
Oh,
half
you
right
mean
now.
the shortest stick with the most tape? At the,
Yeah, the
okay.
most tape
I
on, yeah,
got
yeah.
you. All right.
You got
I
a goalie
got you.
knob on there or what?
No. It's
No.
I don't even. I just
No.
go one, and then I go pretty much all the way almost to my bottom hand. So weird, I know, but nah.
Jeez.
Like Todd
Like we've
Bertuzzi
got
used
one
to do
girl
pretty
who's-
much.
He's very wasteful.
Yeah.
I think there's one girl who's pretty close to that. She's got a lot of tape on her stick. We don't have anyone who candy canes anymore. That used to be kind of a bigger thing, but that's what I always did is candy cane my stick. I did it for a while anyway when I played.
Yeah.
Just anything to give me some sort of something out there.
Yeah, an edge.
Made you feel
Yep.
better, right? Like,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what
right.
it's all about.
At least I looked good.
Yeah, that's right, man.
Right.
That's what it's all about. That's why I use Pro Stock sticks because it looks
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, it looks cool. Sheesh. It makes you feel better when they miss the net with the same stick that you miss the net with. It's like, it makes you feel good.
Mark, we don't want to take up too much of your time. We really appreciate you coming on.
Definitely.
Man. Really appreciate you relaying some stories and giving us an insight that not a lot of people get to get. That's you got a really interesting, cool job.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me on, guys. This was awesome.
Thanks, buddy. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Thanks for listening to today's podcast, everybody. Please remember to rate, subscribe, and review on your favorite podcatcher. And please remember to tell all your friends, teammates, family members, everyone about our podcast. We want everyone to listen. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll catch you next week. Thanks.